teams is how similar both of our roamers tend to be in terms of their hero picks. They really want to go
Yep.
for the front type of sustain hero and probably setter tank type of composition, which I think is reflected in how both of these teams are relatively low in terms of the average heal
Yeah.
for both of these teams. So we'll see, because right now I think the high loss is still open as well
Yes.
for Team Liquid Philippines, just in case they want to prioritize that.
So it was a time that when Zask was still really prioritized, that TLPH should be rushing that.
Yep.
With that gone, with Roger, Link, Fanny taken away as well, will the Jushin be brought up?
Yeah.
Lo Yi is still an option for TLPH alongside the Valentina.
Oh, they banned it.
Now, in terms of the first picks, they have... They're not going to rush the Assassins.
The high loss,
The
the
high
Edith.
loss is going to be open. Edith would be a great first pick. I foresee maybe a Jawhead coming
yeah.
up as one of the first 3 picks for either side. Or maybe even a Phoveus coming in early alongside a Terizla.
I think JP's Jawhead has been very successful in the recent
There's Edith.
times wherein he decided to pick it up. So now they secure the Edith. Will Aurora MLBB secure the Hylos or probably something else? A different Edward hero. We know that they still tend to show the R-lot sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say immediately pick up the Terizla. Still, we're looking at a lot of other options. Oh yeah, the Harith.
Yes.
It's still open, so they
Yep.
get the Hylos and the Harith.
Okay, so they're gonna layer the slows of the Zaman Force and the Glorious Pathway. TLPH, I would appreciate a Jawhead or maybe even surprisingly Tigreal early while they do lock in the Carl TZ jungle. Again, the tendency shows this will also be a JP pickup unless they want to secure their mid or gold laner now. Seeing that Domeng already has a Harith, they might want to pick the Benny QT's pick just a little bit earlier so that they don't have to play for the bans around that. However, it's only been 2 times where Benny QT's pick was picked in the blue side first phase for Team Liquid Philippines.
What would be the options here? The Moskov is still
Moskov,
available. The I feel like it's too early for a different marksman to show up.
Yeah, and we have to remember that Lunox is an option
Oh,
for
yeah.
TLPH in the gold lane.
Wait, what that? Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
they
a
do.
Vexana.
Yeah. So they
Oh.
they change their priorities a little bit. So with the onwards and forwards playstyle of the Hylos and the Harith together, the Vexana would be a good stopper to that. So they're just covering their bases, and now will be the choice of Aurora. Will they pick up the Hayabusa for Demon Kite, or will they pick an Assassin
Yeah,
later?
because for TLPH, they've already secured the comfort jungler here for their jungler, Carl TZ, which was one of the things we've mentioned in our keys to victory earlier. Oh,
tick,
wait,
yeah.
but they secure a counter instead to this lineup so far for Team Liquid Philippines. So they're saving Demon Kite's hero for later.
Yeah.
It isn't revealed to us just yet, but then that might just be, or some of the options might just be
Yeah.
banned out now by TLPH.
We might see a Jawhead ban for Aurora in the second phase.
Oh, they banned the Lunox.
Yeah, so they do cover their base until they ban the Lunox. The pick that we brought up earlier. JP has 2 games on the Edith. I believe he is, 2 out of 3 on that hero. Other than the Jawhead and Edith, he's also had history on the Tigreal and Hylos. As expected, a ban on the Hayabusa for Aurora. Now, one thing that Aurora has that we haven't seen banned out yet is the Julian,
Oh, yeah.
which is still available here, which would mean that the cores of Aurora are going to be rushing for magic damage. But in terms of the physical assassins,
Fanny's
no,
not
yeah,
really.
Fanny's gone. I'm thinking if Lancelot might be brought in here for Aurora, considering that they're up against the Vexana, with the members of TLPH being forward-minded, that might mean the Vexana will be left open in the back line. But knowing Aurora and their tendency, I did not expect that. Knowing Aurora and tendencies, it might be a Julian pick.
All right. And
Good
they take
ban.
out, yeah, the carry of Benny Cutie. How could we forget? And so far, that,
Undefeated, actually,
yeah,
for
it's
Benny.
undefeated. And it directly answers a lot of problems here for Aurora MLBB. They have really tanky frontliners right now.
We might actually see a Bruno or a Beatrix.
Oh.
If they want to go magic damage for Benny, he hasn't played Nathan yet.
Yep.
If they want to open up the map, Claude's might take some time.
It will, it will, it will. What else? It's been a while since we've last seen other marksmen such as the
His Clint lost earlier
Yeah.
this season. It was against Fnatic Onyx Philippines. He struggled. And the Clint might not be good against the Tig,
Yep.
Harith, and Hylos. So they're saving their jungle pick for later. Because if TLPH aren't careful, with the 2 sources of magic damage already, they might go through and pick Alpha as their jungle later.
Well, I wouldn't want to think that this could be another Lolita combo. So, well, the Lolita, yes, is open though, but I feel like they secure... Oh, the Minotaur and the Claude, so
Yeah.
they will risk it. They might just take some time now, but it overall does seem like a safer composition to go by
Yeah.
if they want to cover like the early to late portions of the game with that. So for Aurora, MLBB, and their potential last pick, they're looking for a jungler for Demon Kite. And we mentioned the Julian, it's still open to this
Or
point.
Alpha.
Or the Alpha.
I'd want to see them go for true damage. You already have 2 sources of magic.
It's a Bane!
Oh, it's a Bane.
It's the second Bane game of the day.
Oh, and it's a great pickup too.
I could see Leo jumping right
Yeah.
now again.
Another Bane game, but
Oh yeah, he's happy.
this might actually go really badly for TLPH, considering the nature of their heroes. If they outplay this Bane and they
Yep.
take control of it in the early, that means Team Liquid Philippines just really ran away with it. Maybe a really
Yeah.
great game with from San, paired up with Carl TZ, because they need to bridge it into the mid to the late game for Benny QT, which is a tough task right now.
You were considering Lancelot since they were very forward in terms of the idea, but what better way to answer this composition from Team Liquid if not by picking up the Bane, who could directly stop you in your tracks once you go for an attempt. But we'll see, we'll see. This is game number 1 between Team Liquid Philippines and Aurora MLBB. It's time to see the action. Let's throw it over to our casters.
Welcome back to the Land of Dawn. It's game 1 in a best of 3. Team Liquid
Welcome
Philippines
to
versus
Mobile
Aurora
Legends.
MLBB. Joseph, tell
Dan-
me I'm not dreaming.
You're not dreaming.
This is second Bane today.
Back to back. Well, different series, but
It won with Blacklist, so now in a stroke of genius, I'd like to think, again, this got the blessing of Master of the Basics and Dexstar.
yeah. And I think part of this too, like in the hands of Demon Kite, is going to be very interesting in the matchup like we saw in the head-to-head, of course, between these two amazing junglers, Carl TZ and Demon Kite. Now, the fact that he picks up the Bane this time too, and it's paired up with a Hylos and Renegade on this Tigreal,
Right?
are going to be quite devastating for TLPH.
Especially since TLPH really only have one way in. Count it 2 if Benny Cutie wants to get in there. But so far, Aurora saw the draft open enough to pick up a Bane. Now some action in mid. Renegade
Wow,
going
that is
up
a poke.
against JP's Minotaur. If I'm not mistaken, while the draft was going on, showed a stat 100% win rate on the Minotaur.
100% win rate.
How true is that? We
yeah.
can double check.
I was going to say, we'll have to double check that, but I would say at least for the most part for Minotaur, like regardless, fits really well in the current meta, does quite a bit, of course, in sustainability and then setup potential.
Uh-oh.
Look at this focus here. Sanford.
40!
All right, he flickers. He's got the flicker.
He's
all
fine.
right.
He's fine. And this is not to berate TLPH's draft, because again, this is very Season 14. This draft covers so many bases. You got solid physical damage, you got solid CC, you got solid magic damage. And I understand where Renmar was coming from, trying to pick up the Alpha, because they do need indeed true damage for Aurora, but the Bane just really takes it over the top. Now the turtle
Whoa.
started down to 10th of its health.
All right, look at this. Carl Tizzy can't even move. Now he's going to be in trouble. Does dash away, but Edward won't follow up. They'll go for Sanford instead, knowing the flicker was gone. And that's an objective also in the hands of RORA here. So a lot of value already. Renegade not even level 4 just yet. But you can see how troublesome this Tigreal can be, depending on how they go about the rest of the game.
Early invasion protocol, and they're doing it in such an honest way, especially after just dominating that turtle. And off camera, look at this. DK just continuing to farm up. They didn't even have the person with the retribution as they tried to threaten the purple.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing, you know, Demon Kite can continue. You said this in the previous game even, like in the other match that we saw with Blacklist International. Like if you're going to pick up the Bane, you just hyper farm as much as you want, and you try to keep that pace going. And then later on, you know, you're just throwing out tons of damage with the Crab Cannon and the Deadliest Catch. And like we saw in that last fight too, part of it is just, again, the Glorious Pathway is so much to deal with. If it cuts off an exit route, you have the Revitalize too to kind of make you tankier here. And I would say that's what gives the Hylos a little bit of that advantage early game in comparison to having the Minotaur there, where of course, like, Minotaur, he wants to get that Flask of the Oasis.
Yep, again, that's just a great combo that was recently unlocked given the rise of Hylos.
Yep.
The Deadly Catch and Glorious Pathway. It's two-piece.
Oh, look at it. As you say it.
Aggression and, oh, wait, what is this? Oh,
Sanford pomps the front
Morty's
wrap
fighting
again.
back.
Gonna go 2 versus 1. Sanford looks like he's gonna be fine, but you can feel the pressure as you were talking about.
no, he really is. He really is. The fact that this was Sanford underneath a Tier 1 with a Holy Shield means that's 15% damage reduction. That
Yeah.
should keep him top. Now, Benny Cutie versus Doming, though.
I think he should be. Yeah, he's utilizing that BMI, but yeah, as you were saying.
They were on the long lane, so that's fine. A lot of bot time from RORA side and TLPH as well. And look at this. It looks like we're still looking to contest. It's still a 50-50.
Oh.
Now the implosion!
Renegade gonna use the implosion. Eternal Guard to drop down and try to fight back. Sanford's finally gonna jump back in. Glorious
Morty!
Pathway drop down to fight to cut them off. Sanford taken out, and UA grabs JP as well. 2 down for TLPH. Rora now working on the turtle. Carl Teasy wants to do something about it. Gets a couple shots, and there's Benny Cutie on the backside as well. Fires off, and it's Demon Kite that gets the turtle. And they get punished, but Renegade will finally go down to put TLPH on the board.
Bold movements by the Storm. Benny Cutie at 4 minutes, 4.5. You usually wouldn't want to go that deep on a Blazing Duet. He barely has a core item, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But what this does do for Aurora is open up the map. Joseph, look at this. Doming just had free reign over that Holy Shield down bottom on gold lane, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be safe. What does that make for him? 3,500. He's almost 1,000 gold ahead from Benny.
That's a ton of gold.
Oh.
Carl Teasy's got the burst. Not enough to pick up a kill. Domeng too.
Wow.
He's going to go ahead and show that, hey, you know what? I'm all right. And he's going to get back to base, but he already got a ton of gold off of it.
The next standard says, next, what else you got up for me? With, of course, Renegade to the rescue. But this does put Aurora 2,000 gold ahead, not even 6 minutes in. There's one more turtle. And so far, Demon Kite 10, Carl Teasy at 8. What? Not just gold, Joseph, not just gold, even
XP.
XP. That's what this hyper farming Bane has got for Aurora.
And it just feels like you can't really slow Bane down unless you're committing so much to take him out of the picture.
To get in his face.
Exactly. And, you know, that's why, look at this pressure. This is what Aurora has done constantly, is putting pressure on all parts of the map. If it's not here, then look at the push happening right now with Domeng.
Not just Doming, look up top as well. Look, that's a free wave that Edward is helping Demon Kite get to, and that's definitely a push top and bottom.
This is Edward just kind of spotting out here. Look how deep Roar is in the jungle. Sanji gonna be in trouble here. Does pop the Eternal Guard. Had to use the Purify as well. Holds on, but it just looks like Rora wants the next Tier 1.
They don't even have to go for that. They don't have to force anything. Turtle spawning lower corner. And, oh, implosion!
Renegade again gonna be able to find a couple marks here. Minoan's Fury comes down. UA gets punished, and Benny Cutie will jump in again. Edward falls next, 2 down.
Teasy!
But Carl Teasy will get taken out. And now Sanford trying to fight him off, but it's Demon Kite that gets the 3rd turtle of the game. Domeng, does he want more? Jumps in forward, takes a couple shots. Sanji gets the call. They want to fight it out, but they're disengaged with the Deadliest Catch.
Amazing work so far from Aurora, taking what they can, even from these small windows of opportunity. Looking at the item builds, again, Aurora keeping themselves about 1,500, 2,000 gold ahead. We see Demon Kite about 500 gold up from Carl Teasy, who just recently picked up his, oh, wow, look at the bank on these two. Hunter Strike and Heptases on Carl, while Demon Kite's building, there it is, the War Axe and the Endless Battle. Real quick, let me translate the MPL fan comment. Here we go, Aurora finally making work in the early game. It's no longer passive gameplay, there's a chance.
There's a chance. And I would say, you know, for a long time, People have been waiting to see what can happen with this lineup from Aurora. What can they bring to the table? And this, against a team like TLPH, is off to some great showing here already. As they still hold on to a healthy lead, but you saw it, man. And I think this is always the thing about TLPH, the veterancy, the experience there. Even in those team fights where they might lose initially, they know the calculations on being able to fight back if they have to.
Yeah, and the secret to that is they know the limits of each of their heroes, the limits of what the map can do for you, which bushes allow for which maneuvers, and at what point in the game they're capable of doing that. Now, in the mid-game, I'd say TLPH still definitely need to get Benny Cutie up and ready. And luckily, Sanji knows how to protect himself very well. Sanji's using the Eternal Guard defensively, offensively, the CC you get from his skill too. And I think Aurora, now more than ever, have slowed down.
Yeah, they went out swinging in the early portion of the game. They got all the objectives they wanted to. And now they're like, all right, let's go ahead, settle in, I feel like, with the lead that we have, and make sure that we don't throw it into this First Lord. Because always, when you look at teams like TLPH, that is where they shine. They might actually give up those turtles if they have to. But then once this Lord comes up, maybe even the second Lord, they're ready to fight. And you can already see it happening here. Conceal, are we going to be used? There's Renegade again, jumping in, Implosion used, locking down here. Carl Teasy trying to get some sight here. Renegade's the one to fall, and now JP as well. Lord's still up. Carl Teasy's going to focus down on Edward a little bit longer. They force him back. They're so low as Edward falls. And now Sanford, just in time, gets back in form. He doesn't fall, and the fight for the Lord breaks out. Domek tries to help, but Carl Teasy will get the Lord.
Demon Kite was spaced out. The zoning from TLPH throwing bodies, skills, and everything at Aurora to steal away that Lord. Joseph, this is what you were talking about.
That's what I was saying, man.
Whenever the first Lord spawns, whenever TLPH are down but not out, there's always a chance. And suddenly, in a turn of events, which, by the way, was almost perfect. Implosion, Glorious Pathway, full-on combo, trying to burst the Lord down. TLPH exactly knew that Aurora would throw those skills away and spread out to be able to zone out Demon Kite, to be able to deny doming the free Zaman Force dance of just...
Just like that.
Next thing you know, Zaman Force is timed out, and TLPH took the Lord.
Just like choreography every single time we see it happen. And with that shift, once again here, Lord is going to go down, and now they're going to fight around the purple buff. But Edward dropping down the Glorious Pathway is going to force them out from it.
Stroke of genius, Team Liquid PH. The Cavalry knows that they don't know where the Hitman is. So he could be in any bush. Almost perfect because Renegade pulled the trigger on the Conceal. If he saw 2 or 3 members of TLPH, it would have been over. That would have been a go signal for Aurora to come in, throw everything at TLPH. But I think TLPH are still waiting for a flicker on 40. And yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Benny's Purify. So that could have been it. Wow, TLPH just, this is what you get. World Championship quality, discipline, and map awareness.
I think even with that, hold on. Carl Teasy also waiting patiently. He knows he's going to get pressure on the purple buff, and that's exactly what Aurora does. Couple of shots here. Edward, half health. Renegade, though, front of it all. There's the flicker in from JP. They want to fight. Eternal Guard drop down too. Glorious Pathway to cut in as JP falls, and they break it out. Finally, Renegade's going to go down, and Sanford jumps in. He pops off the Primal Wrath before he gets taken out, and there's a drop on Edward. The 2 for 3. Carl Teasy, though, wasn't able to pick up the kill.
Make it a 3 for 3. DK gets one over the young goat as they continue to push, throwing the deadly catch at the tier 1. One of the handful of skills that actually affect turrets in this game. Once more, the instant replay brought to us by Infinix. So they start off with a trampoline play, right? Chain CC into the AoE, and then of course they take down Renegade and then Doming, which honestly I thought was going to be the end of it for Aurora. But look, I think the fact that Carl Teasy wanted more than what they got led to Aurora punishing back.
Yeah, I almost think that, you know, Carl Teasy probably thought maybe he would secure that kill. But then ends up getting punished, and so evens it out 3-3.
Something tells me Demon Kite's building more than just damage items.
Little defense.
We need to see it, but usually, yeah, Nolan at this point would be able to burst down
a Bane.
A Bane, yeah. That just shivered down my spine. I could have sworn that Demon Kite was going to die, but now Oh,
Wow.
here we go. Edward gets caught with the EG.
Look at the damage. JP's in trouble, gets knocked up himself as Demon Kite picks up the kill, gets the double, triple, and the Lord. Demon Kite takes everything.
3K for DK plus the Lord. And now they're making a beeline for bottom.
Oh, as the base turret goes down is the focus here. RORA focusing base turret number 1. They got no minions just yet. They'll clear it out, though. But they got a whole lot in that exchange. Great timing from UA as well on the Minotaur.
There it is, Joseph. There it is. The Thunderbelt.
The Thunderbelt.
He built the Thunderbelt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pow. 1, 2. That's extra defense. Hybrid defense every time he hits.
Plus the BOD.
The enhanced. And plus the BOD. All right. So already very spicy from Aurora. Making their siege. Down mid. Bottom's got a Lord coming up.
Lord here making its way. It's going to charge in. First base turret, bottom side of TLPH is down. UA takes the Minotaur's Fury again. So Aurora, they have a decision. They can actually force a fight on the base turret. We'll see if they do that with this next wave pushing down the mid. Sanford decides to go in himself. He's going to focus on Demon Kite as he will fall. With the rest of Aurora fighting it out. Sanford in trouble as he's the one to fall. And Carl Teasy will be able to fight off Renegade, but they lose the mid turret as well. RORA only down Demon Kite.
Aurora aware of the fact that they cannot win this siege. They cannot end the game here without Demon Kite. Amazing work by the Apex Predator, Sanford. He turned that Edith into an assassin.
Yeah.
You see that, Joseph?
I saw it.
A full-on flicker onward Earth Shatter. Look, so many heroes taking a nap because of how Sanford initiated.
That's what you got to do, man. Look at the community prediction here, too. Almost 55% for Aurora here.
All right, so there's a slight numbers advantage for the Auroras. Cavaliers, if you're watching right now, ping it.
Let us know.
Vote for PLPH because even I believe now, even with Aurora's success so far, 15 minutes in, you can never count out TLPH.
That's the thing, man. When you see Sanford, play an Edith like this, that's what you got to do. You can't hesitate. Sometimes you got to make those decisive decisions, even when you're staring down a Lord and a push into the mid.
Like a photographer on a rainy day, sometimes you got to make those shots count.
Yeah.
You look for him, you force him, you be patient with it, but here, he shut down DK. I could have sworn DK was going to walk away with a spotless record. So far, he cannot make it happen. Last built item, that winner crown. Edward built his dominance ice. All the more now, I think,
Yep.
Team Liquid PH have to think of their entries. Maybe even start looking for UMR. Because UA doesn't even have a Purify.
He doesn't, but he's also got the winner crown himself, and I would say that's the advantage. Renegade now gets into Immortality. So defensively, RORA has like this minor advantage where they've got 2 winner crowns of Immortality. So they're able to go ahead and play around those small windows a little bit more than TLPH can.
And one of the main advantages that TLPH can force out is, 1, it's been relatively quiet for Benny, so he is fully built. And then 2, is they have chain CCs for days. Like, they could stun Aurora, estimate maybe 6 months.
Yeah, and with that,
Heroes in the air.
heroes in the air, take him to the fun house, throw him up in the air if you will. They hold on to the Lord. It's going to go ahead and get reset a little bit here. But Demon Kite will keep that there, keep it pulled out, as they don't want to commit just yet.
Uh-oh, conceal.
Still going to be used. Renegade trying to spot out. Will be able to find Carl Teasy. Demon Kite, that's the signal he needed. They get the Lord, and now for the fight. Sanford's already taken out. JP throws everybody into the air, but it's just too much damage. Overloading TLPH. Benny Cutie can't do it himself as they get wiped out by RORA.
And it's just a matter of time. The inevitable has come. Aurora MOBB take game 1.
And there it is. Game number 1. Very strong showing from RORA. This looks good.